Protest. Seems that the vigor and also the swelling numbers of these protesters are reducing. But after the president's speech, protesters and the organizers have vowed to continue on this end bad governance and also swell in their numbers. There are plans to bring in more people into the protest ground so that the federal government can feel the heat. Somebody advised, and the advice is that if Nigerians in their millions don't occupy Aso Rock, the federal government will not do anything. Protesting in other states is also good, but if we don't have the numbers at Aso Rock, whereby you have millions of people marching and surrounding Aso Rock, grounding Aso Rock, it is not going to be effective. So many things is happening on social media, and people are mobilizing for this protest. Many people are discouraged. Many people are insulted by the president's speech that he did not address the main demands of the protests. He just came to tell Nigerians his achievement, and also in an arrogant and dictatorship style, he told the protesters there's no need to come out to protest. In fact, some media houses came out to say that the president has stopped the protests. How can the president stop a protest he did not organize? The protest is against his government, and these people have put out demands that the president will heed on to. Wherein he did not heed on to those demands, he does not have the right to stop any protest that he did not organize. Now, NLC has come out to say that they did not totally shun the protest or whatever politics, that they can still come out and join the protesters. A protest that the NLC has said that he did not organize. How would he say that he's backing out of a protest, or he did not back out of the protest? Or what are they really saying about the protest? Or they want to start playing their politics of coming to hijack the protest and make sure it does not have the effectiveness it is supposed to have. Politicians have been throwing their weight behind the protest and the protesters. We know Atiku has spoken in support of the protesters. Obi has spoken in support of the protesters. We have Showore also, one of the people that have shown interest in this protest. These were all former presidential candidates, AAC, Labour Party, and the PDP. But a senator has thrown her weight behind the protesters. The senator is one of the new persons that have vowed to stay. I stand with these protests. I stand with the protesters. I understand the plight of Nigerians, and I'm going to stay behind and support them. How would the masses, those people you are representing, coming out to stage a protest to end bad governance, and you are not coming out to put out a statement to emotionally support them? Just like what is alleged that the Senate president said that you will be protesting outside while we will be in a house eating chicken. This is somebody that supposedly was elected by a number of people in his constituency, in his senatorial district. The people he is meant to represent, is directly telling them that go and protest, I'll be in my house eating. Somebody that is supposed to serve the people that elected him in power. Senator Ireti has come out to throw her weight behind the protesters, and she wished she would be able to be on that ground and show her solidarity support to the protesters. She said that she knows that this protest, especially in Abuja, was peaceful. The protest, especially in Abuja, was peaceful. It was the police that triggered the violence. The police that started shooting, dispersing the people, which I believe I've been to 1 or 2 or 3 of these protests, and I've seen the police trying to make sure that they gag the people from protesting. And in that moment of gagging the people from protesting, they start firing bullets. My question is, what business does a live ammunition has to do with protest? Police is going for protests to guard the people, to make sure that, yes, there's no crisis, there's nothing, nobody hijacks any protest and it turns violent. They are taking live bullets to protest ground. Even tear gas is even debatable. People are debating tear gas, but the police is taking live bullets. That means they have an intention to kill. That is the implication. You are taking a live bullet to a protest ground. And look at the numbers of people that have been killed so far. This is day 5 of the protest. Look at how subtly, gradually, the protest is being weakened by the activities of the police. Accusations that the police is even giving cover to hoodlums. This is one thing that is known by almost every Nigerian. It is not something you need to investigate. We experience it. How police give cover to hoodlums in protest ground. This act of the police, especially in Abuja, made the senator say she is throwing her weight behind the protests. Look at what happened during the elections. It is glaring. The videos are there online, whereby in the midst of the executive, the police that is supposed to protect the people, a thug is threatening violence, is threatening the lives of people, and he is not arrested. Instead, he has his own police guards that are guarding him. An indictment on the police, so many other atrocities of the police that is being experienced by people. The reason why we had EndSARS was EndSARS. That is the police, an arm of the policing department that have been infringing on the rights of people. So we have a problem with policing in Nigeria. So Senator Ireti has joined the protesters, and she's showing solidarity amongst most of our politicians. We have Atiku. He has thrown his weight behind the protesters. Obi also did the same. The Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, said that there's no need for protest. There are other ways you can engage the government. We have Shore also, who is hitting it hard. Now, the president's speech has provoked Nigerians. Nigerians don't see any substance in what the president is saying, except his supporters or those that are benefiting from the government. Opposition and well-meaning Nigerians may not see any substance in what the president is trying to say, the message the president is trying to pass on to Nigerians. When I look at that speech, I see a speech of somebody trying to brag and call your bluff. Do whatever you can do. That is the message. That's what I saw from that message, telling us his achievement. And when you verify some of these achievements, they are not really consistent. Buhari addressed Nigerians, and what do we have? After 8 years, the first year, they said, give him time. Second year, give Buhari time. Third year, give Buhari time. Fourth year, give Buhari time. They started blaming PDP until Buhari did 8 years. The same tactic the APC is using on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. APC used propaganda, flushed out Jonathan. That is their style. There's nothing that addresses the ostentatious lifestyle of politicians. You cut the cost of spending, cost of governance, cut it. If you're not removing subsidy, let people have this feeling that they will trust you. The government cannot be trusted at this moment. You didn't address core issues, how you are going to reduce the price of goods, services, how effective it is. We are. The government will. The government is on it. Like what the police will tell you, that we are on it, and at the end of the day, justice is not served. We are. The government has ordered this, has ordered that. At the end of the day, it does not reflect on the life of the common man. The people at the seat of power will loot for themselves, while the person who is addressing Nigerians turn the other way. Look at rice that was meant for some people in Edo State. Look at how a governor hid all whatever. And the president has the FCC. They have machineries that are being paid to find out this thing. They will leave people, the people are the people that will do the investigation, that EFCC, ICPC, and other agencies that we are wasting government funding, the people's money on. They will sit down there idle, while the people that are not being paid are the ones that will do investigation and find out some of this corruption that is being perpetrated by those in government. You come out and you give a speech. The speech has not addressed the hunger. It has not addressed bad governance. You cannot come and give a recorded speech whereby Nigeria at this point in time wants to have an interaction with the president. There are some questions. If you look at what is happening in other advanced society, you see that after the press release, they entertain questions from the press, from journalists. The interaction will make Nigerians feel that, yes, we have a belonging in this government. But at the end of the day, you come, you record something, you just play it to Nigerians, and you call their bluff. So the protesters are saying that we will not back down. Suggestions here and there. How can we make sure that the numbers are increasing day by day? Because most people seem not to be interested in coming out to protest. Well, like I said before, that there's no amount of protest that will shift or make Tinubu change his mind on what he wants to do. According to a report, a cleric said that he sponsored himself to power, which many are interpreting that he bought his way to power. So what is your concern about it? I may hustle for my money, I may pay for my bills, I dey pay my bills. You have no say. That is the kind of politics we are playing in Nigeria. And I know Nigerians, very few people are just resilient and willing to come out and pay the price for good leadership, but most Nigerians are not concerned. Even some of those people that are protesting, if their needs are met at the moment, they will back down. They will not fight for other persons. People don't fight for a cause in Nigeria. They are fighting for their personal aggrandizement, what they will get now. That is what they are fighting for. They're not fighting for good governance as it were. Even the allegations that those that are sponsoring this protest are getting funding from organizations abroad, I'm not saying that is bad. It is expected. Because how do you run a protest without funding? The Take It Back movement have been effective. When we talk about this protest, they need funding. You can't just go out to protest without funding. I know. But the allegations are that some of these people do it because of just the funding. Just the funding. The presidency in his speech says that there are some people that have a political agenda. Whatever that agenda is, politicians should rise up at this moment and throw their support behind the people. When they did the protest at Ojota, they all came out. The interest, the opposition parties, they all came out. You can see their faces. They wore their t-shirt. They stood at Ojota and they did what they could do. And they did what they did. They did it in that Gani Fire Park. And they also did it at the National Assembly. That's why somebody suggested that they should take over Aso Rock. That is where the president will really listen to the demands of the people. The president just did a speech just to satisfy himself and not Nigerians, and also APC supporters and those that are supporting his government. I like to be rational. There's a lot that President Tinubu needs to do at this moment. He cannot do that within just a year or 2 years. No, he cannot do that. But why appoint people that will not help you achieve your dream? You call bluff when they said a lady who used COVID-19 palliatives for her birthday appointed your government, and you do as if you don't have ears listening to the people. You just do your thing and think your idea is the best among other people's ideas. Your other ministers, almost 90% of the ministers have corruption cases. The chairman of the APC, that is not my business, I'm not an APC member, but looking at that, has a corruption case and is popularly known as Gandola. Your ministers, appointees, we all know that they are just political appointments which will not bring development to the country. So you are intentionally satisfying your personal interest, which is to spread your political tentacles and make sure you complete your 8 years. Like I said, this crop of leaders since 1960 would not be able to fix the country because they are the problem. How would somebody who caused the problem Nigeria is today and is feeding on the corrupt system, corrupt society, want to fix the same society and the same system? It is not possible. It is just, we are just living in la la land. It is not possible. So, for the fact that the president's speech has aggravated Nigerians, politicians, one of which is Senator Ireti Doyle, has decided to join the protesters. She's from Labour Party at the FCC, representing FCT, and one of the persons that had an outstanding victory in Abuja. She is going to be part of the protest. She says, my health may fail me, even not for health concerns, I'll be there having to support the people. But look at what Showore answered her. Showore told her that if you have your SUV that the federal government bought for you, you can use that. If you can use that to attend the National Assembly meetings, plenary, there's nothing so hard you bringing the same SUV to the protest ground. It's nothing so hard bringing the SUV to the protest ground. Now, the pastors have shown their true color. The pastors, the leaders have shown their true color. There was a prayer walk yesterday. Another injustice, there was a service that went on that was mobilizing people against bad governance. These are pastors, these are religious leaders. Another is being organized by the Muslim community, pray against bad leaders. They believe prayer will work and prayer will push them off. There's a place of prayer, there's a place of action. Yes, I believe prayer works. There's a place of action. But now that we have people suffering, that the men of God that God has put over these guys, the shepherd that God has put over the sheep, is not saying anything. And silence will tell us that you are part of the problem. Nobody's saying anything. Everybody wants to pray. At different regimes, they have different, solutions to different problems. Under Jonathan, we are protesting in the form of carrying placards. Protesting with placard. Prayer work that is protesting with placard. In Tinubu's regime, Buhari's regime, nobody protested. It is the APC. Now, Tinubu's regime is only a prayer work, no placard, no whatever. You're just praying for Nigeria to get better. But during Jonathan's regime, you were not praying for Nigeria, as in that prayer was formulated in a way whereby it was telling Jonathan, you're not doing well, you need to resign. That is the reality we are living with today. These are the people that are religious leaders. Religious leaders have failed, very few of them. Politicians have failed. Traditional institutions have failed. So these people, the kind of system we are running in Nigeria, is a demonic system. Nobody is interested. Everybody is just coming to chase clouds and grab what they can grab and run away with it and become relevant and throw up their shoulders. Igwe, Oba, and they have subjects. They're not interested in the plight of the subjects, the people. The pastors are much more interested in their anointing and their ministry and the whatever that goes with it, the obstacles that go with it. They're not interested in the life. The Bible tells us it will be well with your soul, spirit, and body. So they are mostly interested in quote, the spirit, but the body, count me out. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu regime has really exposed a lot of people. And if Nigerians, my eyes is open. I don't know about any other person. If your eyes is not open at this point in time, your eye can never be open to know the true enemies of Nigeria. The true enemies. It is not whether Igbo, tribal, those tribal things are not the issue. I will always say, if we come to the tribal thing, we can talk on it. But it is a class society, the rich and the poor. If you have your Oduduwa, you will have that problem. If you have Biafra, you will still have that problem. If you have Arewa, you will still have that problem. We can start saying Igbo must go, Yoruba must this. It is employed to divide us and make sure that we don't focus on this government. Look at his speech. He spoke against those that are dividing Nigeria. So all this Yoruba Ronu, whatever they are doing, the president does not give you support. He's much more interested on how he's going to stay in power, spread its political tentacles, and stay 8 years, and also last beyond 8 years. Sometimes I wonder, these guys that have less than 20 years to live on earth wants to plan the future of I that have almost 50 years. I wonder, are we not crazy? This government has exposed a lot. And I believe, no matter what, how protesters are being gagged, how you play police on protest, when you talk about hunger protest, you can never stop the revolution. You can never. And I don't see anything that this government can do. Instead, things will continue to get worse. Why? You build on the wrong foundation. You are not transparent. There is no responsibility. There's no accountability. So how do you think you want to progress? You employ people because of your friends and allies. How do you think? Do you run businesses like that? I'm asking plenty questions. They'll say I ask questions too much. Show me anybody amongst the Bola Ahmed Tinubu clique that have started a business from ground zero and made it successful. Very few. They are not used to that. They are used to government spending their money. How would they build a society? How would they build an economy, a country? How would they build? They take advantage of government's power and establish businesses for themselves. They don't know how to start from scratch. Build and build and build. Those people that surround, I'm not saying Southwest though, so don't misinterpret me. Those that surround the appointees, the people that surround Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are all government. The government and power and their money is not surrounded by development, by starting a business, developing that business, and taking it to the next level. So how can these people make Nigeria? How? Except you want to dwell on sentiments. I can relate to you. So the protest is going on. Nothing can stop the North from coming out for this protest. The South, like I said before, will not be so serious. The problem now is the North.